Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Director's Garage Live Humpday Happy Hour Hangout. It's a true 4-H club today. I'm your host and resident idiot, Michael, and yeah, I'm doing it, guys. I'm wearing the Abyss, this ridiculous contraption in honor of CanJam. One of the highlights of the show was this ridiculous headphone, the Abyss 1266 TC, paired with the Riviera amp and a tape deck, a reel-to-reel tape deck. So quite the obnoxious rig, I think, but a lot of fun anyway. I hope you all had a good CanJam. I could not make it. I was on the red carpet at the Oscars having a miserable time. A miserable time at the Oscars. I'll talk more about it later, but it was not a good day for me. Today we're going to do some things. I'm going to talk about some music that caught my ear in the last week that I spent some time with. I was listening to a little bit of the Abyss. The Abyss is an interesting headphone because, and I'm filling time for everybody to come in here, but the Abyss is an interesting headphone because it doesn't really work well on the Zale, and it definitely doesn't work well on the Bakoon. There's a little bit of a peak in the mids on the Abyss 1266 TC, and you put that together with the Bakoon, and it's a disaster. They get honky and thin and all the bad things. You move it back to the Woo, to the tube amp, like Ryan Dietz tells me to do. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a great setup. So I was kind of doing some listening. I really had a renewed appreciation because it's been a while since I've had a good experience with the Abyss because I've been trying it with all these newer amp combinations I have in house. They don't pair well. Pardon me. Cheers, everybody. They don't pair particularly well with some of these solid state amps that I've got in house. They did really well with the Ferrum or Stack, but I haven't had a good solid state amp to pair with the Abyss since the Ferrum or. Nothing's like it. It just they get a little mid-rangey and nah. So that's that. What else are we gonna do? Oh, if you went to CanJam, give me your impressions. Put your impressions down in the chat. I'm particularly interested if you heard the Caldera closed back because I have heard reports from CanJam ranging from the Caldera has no bass. The Caldera closed back. Caldera closed has no bass. Caldera closed has too much bass. Caldera closed has a peaky midsection. Caldera Closed is a perfect headphone. Caldera Closed has a wide soundstage, unusually wide soundstage. Caldera Closed has no soundstage. They're average at best. I have heard reports about this headphone all over the map, and poor Zach, he's got to be just beating these things. You know, I think what happened was some of the different booths that had the Caldera Closed were putting different pads on them. And I think that the pads changed a lot of impressions around CanJam, unfortunately, which is kind of like playing whack-a-mole if you're the designer. And Ryan's here today. I can't imagine Ryan running around going, oh, you got the wrong pads. You got the wrong pads. Stop. Oh, too much. But so there's a ton of impressions out there of the Caldera Closed, and it's a headphone that I'm interested in, obviously buying for my purposes. I would love to have a pair, but to read through the impressions on the HeadFi New York City CanJam thread, everyone walked away with a totally different impression. And the response is like half the people are like, oh, that's really good to hear. It's like, I'm looking forward to these. And I'm like, looking forward to what? Everybody's got a different impression. It's hysterical. It absolutely made me giggle with delight and glee to watch all of these different impressions come in. And that's what makes this such a great hobby, is everybody has a little bit different hearing. They take things a little bit different way. And there's all these other variables involved, like synergy, when we start talking about the Abyss. And the Abyss not working particularly well, especially with the Bakoon. It's just not a good match. It doesn't sound good on that. It just sounds beck. And then you put it on the tube and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. There's bass for days, and there's sound stages and a beautifully smooth upper register, you know, like through the upper mids, lower treble region. Just it's such a great headphone. When you put it on the wrong amp, and it's like, whoa, these things are deadly. And I had the, you know, similar. Where'd it go? Oh, the Atrium, the ZMF Atrium. I was really down on that headphone, and then I found a pad that particularly worked well with it, which was the velour, the velour pad, which I almost never like on a headphone for whatever reason. I just don't. I rarely go to them. I'm almost always on fenestrated leather or something like that, and put the velour on the Atrium, and it's a different headphone. It's like all of a sudden the bass opens up, and the treble is a little bit nicer, and everything got a little bit better. And I was like, wow, this is a special headphone. I see why so many people rave about it, and I've been listening to a ton of them, particularly because my Caldera isn't here. I haven't revealed why that's happening. Hey, okay, so let's talk about, what should I talk about? Hangover Hangout. That's going to be Saturday, this Saturday. Ryan, of course, you have an open standing invitation to that, and we're going to have the creator of the Aurorus audio headphones is going to stop by for sure. I've also reached out to, well, obviously Zach, I'll talk to him and, you know, invite him if he can make it, but, you know, they just got back from CanJam. These guys are busy and probably tired and don't want to see people like me. but they're welcome. And then I also reached out to Audeze, because I want to get Audeze on and have somebody from Audeze talk about this Sony merger, and if we're going to be seeing like what's in their future, because I'm very curious. The LCD5 is a world-class headphone. The Audeze Carbon is a great electrostatic. The LCD4 and 4Z and all those are great headphones. But everything we've gotten so far since the Sony merger, understandably, as I've said, you know, I would have predicted this, has been in the consumer line. It's been like gaming headphones and things like that. I want to know if there's anything coming or plans or development going on. Just development. I don't need to know a product timetable or anything. Just, are they still interested, or do they still possess the ability to do a headphone like the Carbon or like the LCD5 or like the LCD4? And what are their, you know, what can we expect? I would love to get somebody on who could just shed some light on that, because it's a company I think everybody here, nobody says, oh, that damn Audeze, they suck. You know what I mean? They're great. They're a great headphone company. I want to know, like, are we going to get, is the high end drying up with Audeze? Are they not going to be going after that rare air up there at the top of the chain and giving Sesfara's a challenge and ZMF's a challenge and Abyss's a challenge? You know, I love the competition up there. You know, when Yamaha joined the game, I was like, welcome Yamaha. You know, we need competition up there to push headphones like the Sesfara to come down in price and get better and all those things. You know, so it's just competition makes everybody better. There you go. So the Hangover Hangout will be Saturday, folks, at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to get involved with that, you have to go over to my Patreon page and take out a $3 subscription. I know it's a pain in the ass, and I wish I didn't have to do it, but I'm very afraid of what happens if the trolls from my chat, from my comments, find out that there's a free way to get involved with my with a live stream. They're just going to come in and they're going to take it over. It's going to be miserable for everybody. I don't even need to see how that plays out. So it's $3, and it will get you into this thing. I've been doing them once a month. My goal is to do them 1 to 2 times a month at some point. But I also want to keep the quality of that stream up and keep giving you guys good content, like the Ryan Dietz is coming in, and like the Kens from Ken Workshop, because everybody walks away from that with some new knowledge about something. And Zach previewed. You could have seen that atrium, or the Caldera closed a week and a half before CanJam, because he brought the prototype in to show us all on the Hangover Hangout. So that was really cool. You know, you'll get some stuff out of it, is what I'm saying. So if you want to join in on that, head over to Patreon. And got some people in house now. I'll talk about some of the things. By the way, Zach also has some new Sesfara pads he debuted. I would love to get a pair of those in and try them with my Sesfara and see what's going on with them. I'm currently using Dakoni pads on my, I think, that's too far back there. I think I've got the Dakoni fenestrated leather pads on, which I really like on the Sesfara at the moment. But I also have the stock pads and a couple other things. But that's what I'm going with. But I would love to see what Zach has done with it. I would love to get some of his or get his Sesfara pads in here and check those out. Let's talk about some music. Oh. Also coming later in this episode, we've got a gorgeous home setup from a viewer that goes by the name of Gene. Gene sent me some, viewer Gene sent me some photos, and they're tasty. They're particularly tasty. So I can't wait to talk about those and jump over those. And we'll get to your comments in the chat for sure. They had the $108,000 amplifier at CanJam, but you needed an appointment, and they took you up to like a penthouse somewhere to let you listen to it while you looked at the view of the city. Let's put it in its best possible light for this $108,000. That wouldn't even get you the down payment on the on the penthouse you were standing in. Very interesting though. So that was there. So let me talk about some music first, because I listened to some stuff this week. I wanted to share my thoughts on it. First up was Willie Nelson. I was enjoying some Willie Nelson this week. I started kind of jumping back. I don't know what gets me on kicks. Sometimes it's just like I was reading something and I saw Willie Nelson. I'm like, I haven't listened to Willie Nelson. I'm like, I'll go back and listen to Willie Nelson. Let's go listen to these records. So I went back and I started listening to some of the earlier stuff, and I hit across an album I hadn't stumbled on. And those of you who are fans would go, duh. But for me, I hadn't heard this. And this was Red-Headed Stranger was the name of the album. It's kind of a concept album where he's doing this storytelling and he's telling the story of a preacher. It's really interesting. And the biggest thing to note is how sparse the instrumentation on this record is. In fact, there's barely any percussion at all on this album. It's mostly bass and guitar. So you've got he's playing Trigger, I would guess, in this. It sounded like Trigger. It sounded like a nylon string guitar. And a bass is accompanying him for most of it. Now, they had some other things that came in, some other instruments, a little harmonica here and there, and some... But it's a very cool song, and his voice is in probably the best shape of his entire career. So we're talking about 76, 77. He was in really good shape and peaking out creatively. And this album is jaw-dropping. it just melts into your ears. It's amazing. Look at some notes I took on it. This was 75. It was on. This actually became a hit record in the country music world. I was not into the country music world at 75. In fact, in 75, I was about 7 years old. So, 8 years old. So I had other things on my mind back then than, and I think back then my idea of high art was Simon and Garfunkel. I was really into Simon and Garfunkel and the Split Up and a little bit of Paul McCartney and things like that. But I would have never been familiar with Willie's stuff back then. It just was too different for me, for growing up as a kid in the suburbs and whatever, and listening to AM radio, Larry Lujack on WLS-FM, AM 890. Okay. And so I was listening to this on the Atrium, which turned out to be a perfect combination because it's such a muted and mellow headphone. And I started out on the Sesfar, and I'm like, it's just too much for how simple this record is. Like, I don't want to hear the fingers on the strings and I'm like, you want to hear the whole ensemble, as stitched together and buttery warm as possible. And that was the Atrium for me. I thought it was an amazing combination. Even the meze, like I did try with the meze, and it was like just a little too much in the treble. Like, I wanted something that was just smooth at the top. I was stunned by this record. Again, the album is called Red-Headed Stranger by Willie Nelson. If you're looking for something to listen to, check that one out. It's really good. Now, I hinted at this about a month or two ago. New Black Crowes music on the way, and the first songs have started trickling out. There are some live performances out there, and I would recommend checking those out. They did a performance for KLOS, which is the FM radio station here in Los Angeles. Head over there, not now, after the stream. Some viewers. Oh, you sent us over to something to listen to something. There's a great live performance of these first couple of songs, and it actually sounds better than the music videos and the lyric video. You'll hear a couple of songs from the new ones. One is Wanding and Waiting, and then there's another one. But it's like there's it's got evocative. It is classic Black Crowes. I don't think it's like groundbreaking. I don't think it's 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 like, hearing Southern Harmony for the first time. It's not that. It's more of what they do best. And it's great just to see the two brothers getting along and playing together after so many years of and the Chris Robinson experience, whatever the hell he was playing alone, and see these guys get back together. Well, Chris looks a little different now. His hair's shorter, and he's got kind of like a 50. He's about my age, so but it was good seeing them together. Listen to the new songs. They're just coming out. Again, Wanting and Waiting is the new one. I think that his voice is relatively good. It may have lost just a little bit. He's a little on the shouty side, but rather than singing things like he was in his younger years, and I think that's just a product of getting older. Your voice gets a little more gravelly, but the song sounds solid. It reminds me of Jealous Again, sort of in structure, and the only complaint I had was they've got some hand clapping going on. That's bad production choice. They shouldn't have done that. If they left the hand clapping out, it would have been a much better song. It would have been a much more solid song. It cheapened the presentation. So go check that out. Check out that KLOS performance. Look up just search on YouTube KLOS Black Crowes, and it'll come up. And then the last thing I want to talk about music-wise, and then we're going to get into all of your chats, and we'll talk more about CanJam, and I got the viewer system coming up. I want to raise a glass to one of my favorite vocalists from the 70s, one of my favorite singers, and that's Eric Carmen. Eric Carmen passed away at the age of 74 this week. and he was a pop icon in the early 70s. He was with a group called the Raspberries, and they did he had a huge hit in Go All the Way. It was a giant AM radio hit, hugely controversial because it was about teens going at it. Go all the way literally meant go all the way, and it's about, you know, somebody begging to go all the way. And if you actually listen close, it's the girl asking the guy to go all the way, but whatever. But I loved the song. I always loved the band. And then he broke off. He had some solo hits. He did All By Myself, the famous Nielsen song. His version of it is maybe the standard bearer, the version of record in my head. I loved that. And then he also did She Did It. That was another big hit. And then in the 80s, he was a part of the Dirty Dancing thing with Hungry Eyes. I just thought I loved his voice. I just thought his voice was so unique and so great. Like all great singers, whether it's Sting or Sinatra or, you know, just whoever, you know instantly when he was singing something. Freddie Mercury, the great vocalist, you knew instantly it was Eric Carmen. And so I'm really sorry that he's gone, and I'll miss him. So let's all raise a glass, I would say, to Eric Carmen. Died this week at the age of 74. So that's my music report, guys. I hope you got something out of that. I hope there was something you can take away from that and go out and listen tonight and have some good stuff, and maybe even check out some of that old Raspberry stuff. It's awesome. Let's go back to the chat now. Let's catch up with what you guys are talking about, and maybe that'll get us on some different topics as well. I've thrown a lot out there today, and we have a viewer system coming up from Gene. We're going to show Gene's system off. Okay. Ken Workshop, I wish he could stay, but he's been super busy. Wanted to at least say hi. Oh, cheers, Ken. If you're gone, I'm sorry. But we're always glad to have you around, and please stop by on Saturday if you can to the Hangover Hangout. I love the graphic on that one, too. Do I have that up anywhere? Did I load that? I don't know if I did. Nah, it's gone. All right, I'm not going to try and find it. Anyway, I did a graphic for that, and it's like bloodshot eyes stuff. It's hysterical. If I can't amuse myself, guys. So Ryan Dietz, cheers, Ryan Dietz. Wayne Hine, hi all. Hipster Cow, howdy, gentlemen. Good to see you here, sir. He couldn't make it either. He was in Australia. There you go. That's a good reason. He clicked off the dancing porcupine for this. Timothy Egan. Oh God, go back to the dancing porcupine. It's far more entertaining. There's my wife sent me a tiger in a pond with a big ball, and he's got his arms around the ball, and he's playing with it. It's a real tiger. Like having a good time. I'm like, that's where I'd like to be today. Hipster Cow says, decide to pull the trigger on the $9,500 mammoth tusk that your boss hooked you up with. I don't blame you for that. I would have pulled the trigger on that. I think he said last week it was $1,500 for a $9,500 mammoth tusk cartridge, and I'll bet it has mammoth tusk breath sound out of it. I'll bet it sounds amazing. Yeah, there are some cartridges that I'm just like, you look at, it's like that golden something or other from what's the one I'm thinking of? Clear Audio, the golden farts. It's whatever it is. It's amazing. It's like it's a $15,000 stupid cartridge for your turntable. I got a Delos over there from Atlas or whatever it is. Delos from Lyra, I guess it's called. Okay, let's go back to this. But congratulations, that's a great thing. You know, you don't get to hear that every day for sure. Neil Snyder said he bought the Felix Envy 25th Anniversary Edition. A lot of talk about the Felix Envy 25th Anniversary Edition. A lot of raves for that on the Head-Phys, because I did try and get through. I went through about half of them. I didn't get through everything because I'm just old and tired, boys. This was Oscars week. It was rough. I'm on fumes today. Just got to get through the week. I'm off Friday, but I'm off to the doctor, so they're going to get the shoulder looked at finally. Pardon me burping. He bought the Felix Envy 25th anniversary edition. Now he's living in the garage. Well, that's what happens to me when I start bringing up some of these more expensive amps. It's a trip to the lawyer. I'm living with my lawyer. Anthony 37 said he bought the Felix Envy too, as well as the Zale HM1. Wow. You're amped up there, Anthony. That's a pretty good combo. I mean, you know, you've got the tubes. The Felix is a tube amp, I believe, and I was drawing a blank. But how much is that Felix Envy 25th anniversary? Oh, Apple wants me to boost my productivity. I don't think I could. Felix Envy. NV 25th. Wait. Oh, that's as much as. Oh yeah. You're living in the garage, dude. You're so living in the garage. You're not even getting access to your wardrobe. You're living in the garage in a robe. It looks like they cut a deal with Elrog to get their tube made, though, because that is looking like an Elrog tube to me. I wonder if they did. Interesting. Oh, it's PS Vane. Okay, maybe they get that. It looked like an Elrog to me, the big tubes in the back. PS Vane are the front ones. I don't like those tubes, by the way. The CV181 drivers, they sound crunchy to me. At least they did in my Woo Audio. I had those for a long time, and I wound up selling them. I thought they were just crunchy, like they just had this edge of distortion. I guess some people would like that if they want that like grittier sound, but I'm like, what I love tubes for is the smoothness of the tubes, the smoothness. By the way, if you think that a tube amp can't give you good bass, prepare with the Abyss 1266. Like that whole, you know, oh, it's bass. It doesn't give you the bass authority of a solid state. I'm like, put it with the right gear, and you know you'll be surprised. And some really good tubes. You know what I mean? And my mom got her driver's license renewed, so that's good. Just imagine it. Breaking news. It's awesome. Where's that? So yes, you're at 17th. Well, I should call this up just so everybody can see it, because it is ridic. It is ridic. Here we go. Felix. I thought it was like a $3,500 amp or something. That's amazing. Do I have it out? It's on headphones here. Okay, so I can go to this. Hang on a second. I'll show it to you guys. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There you go. Here it is. Here's the Felix Envy 25th anniversary edition. And it's $17,000 glory. Oh my God. Buy used, kids. Buy used. Save your marriages. It's amazing though. I mean, it's a great looking amp, and I'm sure it sounds awesome, but whoosh, that's a lot of chili beans, boys. that's a lot of hours in divorce court. We laugh because it's funny. We laugh because it's true. Hey, Wayne Hines says, since I'm dead in 1 year, do you think Zach from ZMF could sell you a Caldera closeback at half price if it only had one driver? I wouldn't mind. So you can approach that, Wayne. I don't know that it's going to go over particularly well. What does he do with the other driver? Sell two single-sideds? Oh, man. Okay, Ace of Spades. Howdy, Ace of Spades. Cheers, brother. Good to see you. Swapping out the grills on your Caldera, just a guess. Well, the honest truth is, Hipster Cow, I don't really know. it'll make sense later, but I don't actually entirely know what's going on with them, and that's kind of the fun of it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's going to be fun though. Whatever it is, it's going to be fun and a good time, and it's going to make a great story or a great show, which I'm looking forward to. By the way, the next episode is a full review, detailed, high-end review of this iFi IDST Pro Signature all in one. It does everything for the low price of $3,250. Like, whoa. Yeah, that's coming up next. That's the next episode. It's about half cut. It's about half cut. With the Oscars this weekend, it kind of blows things up. But I did get it. I recorded it last week, and it's about halfway done. I'm doing the music on it now, and then I got to make it pretty and put some graphics and stuff on it. And then it'll be out to you guys maybe by the end of the week if I'm lucky. It just comes down to how the world is going for me. Around here, I don't have the energy right now to kill myself to get something out. Like, I could, if I wanted to, I could probably hammer down and put it out the door by tomorrow morning, but I would be dead tomorrow and I've got to work tomorrow. So I'm like, it's just not worth it. Like, I just can't kill myself over this stuff. So you'll get it this week or early next week or whatever. And it'll be great. It'll be fun. And then I'm going to move on. Then I have a Patreon subscriber is going to choose the path that the Director's Garage takes next. I've got one subscriber at the higher level, and he's got voting rights, and I'm going to let him have his say. He'll decide whether we're going to do a full review of the Zale, or if we're going to go unbox something new from ZMS or from Audio 46, or what we're going to do. So I don't even know what it is yet. So it'll be kind of fun. Hipster Cow says, we did that. Wow, Hipster in a heavy, Ace of Spades, I gotta read this. Wow, Hipster is in a heavy way into the cart game. Yes, the cartridge game. Time to upgrade your tone arm and phono. Yeah, because you've got too much cartridge for your phonograph. You got to get a hold of that VPI Industries guy and Matt and hook him up and say, hey, I got something here. What do you recommend? And then he'll sell you like a 10 grand turntable. Because that's what you need to do. That's what you got to have. Everybody needs it. Oh my God. And Neil Snyder says his 1266 sounds magnificent on the HM1. He's feeding with the Dave M scaler. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't get that thing sounding right on this newer stuff, the newer solid state stuff. Neil, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just my ears or something, but there's such a marked difference between the sound of that thing on the Woo and the sound of that thing on particularly the Bakoon. The Bakoon is just a disaster with that headphone. I just don't like it. It's just it's like this sound stage. Is this one of the rare times we should look at a graph? No, let's not do it. Such boring television. But the thing naturally has a peak in the mids, and I know there's a peak, and I think it's around 4K-ish to my ears. And for some reason, the solid state stuff just accentuates the crap out of that 4K peak. And it just gets like a honk in it on the headphone. It just drives me bananas. The tube just smooths all that shit over, and it just comes out sounding good to me. It's a much more enjoyable experience. Plus, you get the stage of a tube with it just sounds so good. So I was just listening to it with the Woo today, and I was like, okay, now we're back on the back in the Abyss game. Because I've been having a hard time with it pairing with stuff, and it's just kind of sat around for the better part of 2 months, not even touched. I just haven't found anything to listen to it with. But I'm happy. I got it paired with something that I like. You know, your mileage may vary. Everybody has different hearing. Hipster Cow says, hi, that's very true. Ace of Spades, he offered it to him for $1,500. He couldn't pass up the offer. Yeah, I'd be on that too. I would be like, okay, just take my kidney and I'll take the cartridge. Cost twice as much as the speakers. I know. But you know, when are you gonna get Hipster Cow? I'm on your side, brother. When are you gonna get a chance to hear a $9,500 cartridge in your system, my friend? You have to do it. Peer pressure. I am such a bad influence on you all. I should just go to jail. Okay. And again, anybody who's gone to CanJam, please chime in and tell us your experiences. Particularly interested in the Caldera Closed, because I heard so many mixed reviews of there are so many different reviews of the Caldera Closed online right now. It's crazy. Like, none of them are matching. So I don't know what the hell everybody's hearing. And like I said, I've got a hunch that the earpad situation was changing around in different rooms, because that would explain why those things are so different in experience. Anthony 37 says, Neil, yeah, he's building his system, so he doesn't have the DAC yet. Not sure which one. How's the Dave DAC? Oh, Dave's a pretty good DAC. My only complaint about the Dave is it's so old now. It'd be like buying the Yggdrasil. It's like it's a great amp, but it's like or DAC, but it's like it's just been around for 1,000 years. Like it's got to be, I would think, just by attrition, there's got to be better out there at this point. You know, whether it's the Mulla Mulla or, you know, not even pushing my DCS stuff. And I'm like, there's a lot of great DACs out there. Not sure. Would it really be the best still? It was always seen as the best when I was back when it came out, but I don't know I can't imagine that being true anymore with the advances and all the different things that are out there. Anthony Behrman says, good evening, Michael, and guys, hope your wife is feeling much better now after COVID, after I gave her COVID. Currently in bed in the UK with the virus. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. Well, drink your orange juice, take some vitamins, you'll be good. What time will your stream be here in the UK? Well, it's 9:30 a.m. In the US, so that would be 10 hours. That would be 7 o'clock at night. Does that sound right? 7 p.m.? I think it's about 7 p.m. in the UK, in Britain. Neil Snyder says he bought 3, but then again, we had just had the daylight savings time, and not everybody does the daylight savings time like we do, so it could be 6 o'clock. I'm not sure. Check your local listings. Punch it into your iPhone. There's a little thing in there that'll tell you. I can even do it. Wait, let's see. Oh, this is going to confuse the hell out of me though. World clock, London. It's 11:09 p.m. now. And we're at 3, so we're at 4. So 7 hours. So it's not going to be that late. 9, 7. I think it was 10 hours. No, whatever. I can't do this live. I have no talent. But it's 11 o'clock p.m. now, so if it's 4 o'clock in LA now, that's 7 hours, and 7 plus 9, you're going to go 3 to noon, and then another 4, so it'd be 4 p.m. in London. And if my math is wrong, I'm so sorry. Just doing it live. We'll do it live. Neil Snyder, that was an old... Oh, that's my phone making noise. Neil Snyder says, bought 3 Thomann headphone stands from Germany, $30 each plus $600 shipping. Oh my God, that's not worth it, man. Gotta listen to Slim Man. Okay. You're going to see some really cool stands in the viewer system this week from Gene. I'm going to show that in a few minutes. But we'll get to that in a few minutes when I find a breaking point. But I'm going to go through some more of this chat so we can kind of catch up a little bit. Was there any CanJam feedback of the Caldera close? Yeah, Ace of Spades, I was talking about that earlier. I've checked the forums, and I've never seen such a wide spread of opinions on them. Not enough bass, too much bass. They're treble bright in the treble. Too mellow. Like everybody, I've got reviews literally all over the map with that thing. I have no idea what to expect. Crazy wide soundstage for a closeback. No soundstage at all. Okay. Everybody's hearing different things, or we're on different drugs. Spades. I did see that people said there was no sign of the new Yamaha headphone, so that can't be good for them. I was a fan of the last one. Thought it was really good. Not for me, but I thought it was really good. Been a while. Glad to be back, Mr. Dynamite. Cheers, brother. Welcome back to the show. I'm glad to have you back, Mr. Dynamite. Absolutely. CanJam NYC went really well. Not sure if he met anyone on here. I should refrain from impressions, but he thinks Zach wouldn't be too upset if I say the Caldera close was very good. I have heard that. I'm expecting good things because Zach's been on a roll with his headphones that he's been putting out, and I would think that you're not going to be too disappointed by it. But I did see some critical reviews over on the HeadFi website, so I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I know people were messing with the ear pads, and Zach jumped in and said he thinks somebody was throwing some thin ear pads on it, which will mess up the bass and mess up some of the frequency response. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but I do want to hear it desperately. I think it's and the new design is like, so great. Mr. Dynamite was at CanJam, saying Shangri-La Senior, driven by a Viva amp. Oh my God. The transparency, could reach out and touch the performance. That's the best kind, man. That's the best kind when you hear that stuff. Neil Snyder says, Baba Blues is a fantastic group. Listen to Tiggerstov. All right, I'm going to copy it over. Going to put it in the show notes. Check that one out for next week. Like that. Didn't even know his system would be up tonight. Ooh. Oh, Gene, yes, you're up tonight. Gene's here. Gene is the owner of the photos we're going to show. Dave, FE25 Cisfar combo was a CanJam highlight. Very good. Felix Envy, he's talking about 25. The $17,000 tube amp. Oh, boys, what are we doing? Like the Cheap Trick shirt? Like the Cheap Trick shirt. A big Cheap Trick fan. Illinois boys, just like me. Ace Spade says he bought an iFi Hip DAC 3 for $100. Pretty excited for his IEM game. We're on all different levels. That's good. It's good to have options. That's what I tell my wife. I got to have these because these got to be options. Love the way the Hip DAC looks. Yeah, it's a sleek flask. It's awesome. The 845s are Elrog. He knows Elrog makes good tubes now, but he refused to buy them after the whole exploding tubes controversy. Hipster Cow, you and I are on the exact same page because I paid, I think it was $1,500, might have been $1,300 for a pair of 300B Elrogs when they first started manufacturing them, and everybody, to a person, had their tubes, boom, pop, in the first 6 months, and Elrog would not replace them. And I'm not going to get behind a company that doesn't. When Western Electric, doesn't matter how good they sound, when Western Electric comes out and guarantees their tubes for 5 years, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I'm buying a Western Electric. Or Takatsuki's, which never blow. I've never had a Takatsuki tube blow yet. Currently, I've got all Takats in my Toxer and my Woo right now. I just took the Westerns out for a little bit, trying some different things. Just change up the sound every now and then, just for the fun of it. Neil Snyder said he ordered a Ferrum Wandla, the Golden Sound Edition DAC. Cool. So it looks like a good DAC to me. It looks pretty solid. Nephilim81 says, better late than never. Gentlemen, what a day. Nice to relax, catch up here. Hope all is well with everyone. It seems that many of you got some new purchases happening, not far behind. Nephilim, did you get to CanJam? This question. And Neil Snyder says, just moving on. He has hearing loss, so not so smooth is not what he wants. He craves detail and airy treble. To each his own. Absolutely, to each his own. He's at home suffering with a pretty bad case of CanJam, where's his Dulcolax? Awesome, awesome. Hey, let's break here for a second. Adam P is going to chime in with his opinion of the Caldera. And we're going to get to that in just a second. And if any of you heard the Caldera closed, please tell us your opinions of it. We're very interested. But I'm going to go to Viewer Gene's system right now at 4:16 in the afternoon. For those of you keeping tabs and needing to go somewhere. Okay, so we're going to go to Mac Pro, and I need to open all of these up with no. With no. There we go. Open with preview. Let's see what preview does. And there we go. Okay. So I'm going to go through now to the MacBook Pro. This is Gene's system. It's got an X-Sonics. I mean, there's some stuff here, right? This is pretty amazing. This is a nice X-Sonic tube amp. This is electrostatic. And then he's got, and I don't even know all these brands. I mean, I recognize the Hollow Audio down here, and then this DNA thing. This thing looks cool. Let's go in on that. DNA headphone amplifier. I've never even seen this thing before. This is cool. Another tube amp up there. Very nice. Very nice. I'm not familiar with DNA audio, so very cool, very cool. Here's a close-up of it. There we go. Now I don't have to go in. Oh. God, these are beautiful. Those are 300Bs, so 300B tube amp. Two 300Bs, and then that was probably a rectifier right there. Tube. Gorgeous. Wow. And look at the headphones. Look at the headphones. We'll get to that. I'm sure there's more photos, guys. There's more photos. I love looking at other people's systems. I just think it's so inspirational and cool. He's got a HiFiman Ario Organic. I recognize that. I recognize that as a ZMF. It's in the middle here. Can't see it clearly. Need to see the side. That's it's like an atrium on the side. And then hollow audio right there. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, here we go. Oh, don't do that. Oh, this is one of the other ZMFs. This is, what the heck is it called? Can't remember. Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Oh, that might be a Caldera with a blacked out screen. That's what it is. That's okay. Here's the other thing, guys. Check out the stands. These stands are made by a company called Room, R-O-O-M, Room. I'm pretty sure, because I have the Room version of this. These stands are gorgeous for my 1266. Anyway, that's a Caldera. I couldn't see because I couldn't see the detail in the grill, so I couldn't tell which grill it was. But yeah, I thought it might have been like one of the other ones, but no, and then that's an atrium right there. But I just have, they're different colors, but they're really cool. I like the burnt wood effect. That's really awesome on the atrium. This needs a C right there, don't you? Don't you think, like on this one he should embroider a C because he did an A on the atrium? Just distinct. And that's the Ario Organic, which we love. He's got a Hollow May for a DAC, very cool. And the red, that's an upscaler, I believe. And then, oh, we're getting into some fancier stuff down here. Very awesome. Oh, there's the tube warehouse. There's the tube locker. He was hiding out on us. He was holding back. Love the tube locker with an air blow. Nice. And then the trifecta there. What was the, so wait, I got to ask one thing of you, Gene, and that would be on this Exonic, which is that's an electrostatic. What electrostatic headphone are you running on that? Because I didn't see any other electrostatic. I didn't see where this is going. Where's that ribbon cable going? So cool, though. What a system. Damn, I'm not familiar with this DNA, but now I want to look them up. That is so cool. There's something like really raw about this that's really interesting. What a system from Gene. Thank you, Gene, for sharing your system with us. And if you want to share your system with us, it's nothing. We do nothing. It's just for bragging rights. It's just for fun, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy showing these things off. It's just a good time. If you want to show off your system, I'm just going to make sure it's all there. It is. You can send your pictures to directorsgarage@gmail.com down there. That's the way you can contact me about anything, whether you think I'm just being an idiot or you want to, chat and buy something. I don't know. Somebody buy my X9000, please. Had somebody want to get together for like an audio meet. I'm just like, they emailed me and I'm like, I would love to do an audio meet, but like they're just like everybody, bunch of guys getting together and showing off. That was abrupt. Sorry. Normally I do a nice little smooth fade, and I went that you're out of here. Somebody wanted to get together, and like 3 or 4 guys get together with some electrostatic gear and check it out and like share different stuff. Some guys have some higher end stuff out there. And I just can't right now because it's like my schedule is just brutal, and I've got to get the tax done. Nothing until taxes are done, and then I get a couple episodes out because we got to get the show caught up and back on track, and I need to get I just going to get stuff going. I can't afford to take time out on a week. And then Mrs. Director's been missing me because I've been doing all the award season for me is a grind, fellas. I'm gone a lot. So Mrs. Director wants me around a little bit, which is nice. It's nice to be around, but she doesn't want me running off. So I got to build up those credits so I can get away for CanJam in the fall. But what a nice system from Gene, from viewer Gene. Thanks for sharing, Gene. I'm a huge fan of what you got going there. It looks beautiful. And send us, that was a CanJam. Send us a photo of the electrostatic. I would love to see what that electrostatic was. Ah, dang it. And maybe you did send it to me and I missed it. Something wrong? Let's see. No, that was them. Oh, wait. You did send it. You did show it off to me. I missed a photo. Hang on, folks. Hang on. Go back. I thought it was the Aria Organic he was showing me. It was actually the Shangri-La Junior. So what we were looking at there was the Shangri-La. Here it is. Here's the photo. And I wouldn't know that if for the Shangri-La. It's just the Shangri-La electrostatic. I thought it was the Aria Organic because of the wood sides. It's the Shangri-La. So 1,000 lashes with a wet noodle for me for not picking that up. But damn cool. Damn cool. Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. There you go. That's the mystery is solved, and it was an error by me. Gee, don't be too surprised, fellas. Very cool. Okay, so let's pick up with Adam P. Adam P said he really liked the Caldera, but much preferred the closed at the Jam. The opens were brighter to his ears with a hard edge on the vocals that he didn't jive with. Tonality-wise, they're both fantastic. Great. He felt the bass on the closed was just on another level versus the opens. That's interesting. Because I'm getting, there's reports all over the map about this thing, Adam. It's very interesting. I mean, it says, what's going on? Are they very picky about what they get paired with, or was there the different pad issues? Very cool though. Very cool. I'm glad you got a chance to hear him though, and I'm a little bit envious, more than a little. In his opinion, there were no attributes of the opens that were better than the closed, not even on soundstage, if you can imagine that. Well, that's cool. That's quite high praise for them. Barry Douglas says talking about looking into the record crate he pulled out, an old-fashioned group called War. I know them. Yeah, War was great. They did all sorts of stuff. They did a lot of politically active music. Politically conscious music. I know War. They're from like 1970. I was about 2 or 3 at the time, but I used to listen to them growing up. Last Rhino says, Zach doesn't take criticism well. It wouldn't surprise him if he pulls the Caldera closed and re-releases later. I don't know. I think there's something to like the pad thing, but we'll see. I'm really a fan of Zach, man. After talking to him and getting him into the chat the other day with the Hangout a couple weeks ago. He's just such a passionate dude, just loves building stuff, and that's great. That's fun. That's a fun person to be around and talk to. Nephilim did not get to CanJam. Someday soon, my friend. It'll happen. And I'll rejoice in audio heaven with all of you. Have a young family. Yep, we're going to get away for a bit. Work is the same. Mind bending. That's awesome. Ace of Spades, Stellaris? Yes, Stellaris. Oh, Gene. 2A3. What are we talking about here? Love Donald North audio amps. Oh, okay. DNA. Got it. I'm not familiar with it, guys. So that was a little education for me. Live on the air. Who knew? Donald North. Wowza. Okay, now I'm going to have to look something up. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, Donald North. I'm like, I don't know anything about Donald North audio. Now I'm going to have to check it out. HiFiman Shangri-La. Yeah. Gene, I was a little late to that game. I didn't pick up. It looked like HiFiman because of the wood on the sides. That's why I thought. But then I saw him from the side. I'm like, wait a second. Caldera in the middle is the atrium. Yes. Such a great system. Guys, I got to do this. Send photos to Michael. Don't be lazy. It's just fun to see. It's fun to check out. And I will never, I'll never make fun of anybody. I don't care if you've got a pair of iPods, and, plugged into. I just want to check out what you're listening to and what's giving you joy. That it's just for fun. It's not for, I'm not one of those guys that's going to go, oh, you don't have cable lifters on your headphone cable. How gauche. A real headphone enthusiast would insist that they have only sterling silver connectors between their, F that. Like, we're just having fun. That's Caldera Mill is the atrium. Such a great system. Yes, amazing. Great options. Rooms. Yes, I have the right back there. I've got the rooms that's specific for the 1266. It's the only stand that properly holds the Abyss 1266 by the bar. Even Abyss's own $500 stand holds it by the pad. And the thing is that these are rubber elements on either side, and yes, they wear out, and yes, this pad costs over $300 to replace. And you can't just get like a new, because these don't unbolt. There's no way to get these rivets out of here and change. Well, maybe now there is, but on the old one, it was stitched in, and you were screwed. If your elastic band broke, you're done. And you had to pay over $300 to get the new one. I'm like, No. So you want to support it, because supporting it by the pad will wear it out faster. You're putting tension on these so you want to support it up here if you have 1266. Rooms is the only stand that supports it by the bar. You can pay $500 to have Abyss wear out your headphone. Such a great system. Yes, amazing. He thinks the HiFiman Organic is the Shangri-La. Yeah, not an organic. Yeah, I figured that one out. Thanks, hipster. Cheers, Gene. Thanks, man. You've got amazing stuff. Love that. Yeah, that is fun, man. That is fun. I just like checking it out. I told you it was a primo system today. I was super impressed when I was just thumbing through the pictures. And then, the more I'm looking deeper, I'm like, oh, I missed that it was the Shangri-La. I probably should have looked at the pictures a little closer before air, but, I work. Hipster Cow, he happens to have been, to have an extinct cartridge he would happily trade you for the X9000. A dino cartridge, a walrus tusk. Oh, my God, that's amazing. That is amazing. Gene, stop showing off. Boss system. That's awesome. You're getting the love, Gene. That's awesome. I love that. Are the tungstens still getting head time in your rotation? Yeah, I was listening to them today. I just decided I was going to put the Abyss on the Woo today to hear it for the first time in a while. Because I'm like, I need to get some Abyss love going, because my last few sessions with the Abyss have ended in me just take them off and put them to the side. So I'm like, I wanted a good system. So I was listening to that Willie Nelson stuff, and I put it on. Put it through the Lena DAC with the clock, and then into the Woo Audio WA5 LE, and then putting it. It only needs the 2-volt output of the DAC, because these are relatively efficient. I can go about half volume on the Woo amp, and fab. Just was wonderful. So I was listening to that Willie Nelson stuff, and then just to refresh, and I wanted to go, well, am I hearing it the way I remember it now? So I went to the tungsten, dual-sided tungsten with the Woo, but I had to jump the voltage up to 6 volts out of the DAC to be able to drive the tungstens well properly through the tube. And I was like, yeah, the tungstens were smoother, but there's such a presentation. Like, the presentation on the Abyss is different, and that the amp is so bad on this, I can barely, let's see. Is that anything? No, it's not anything. I can barely hear anything out of these on the through the headphone output on the thing. Can I adjust my headphone out on this? I don't even know if I can. I think I can. Talkback master. No. A headphone. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. I can actually hear what I'm doing. I can hear the nice piano in the background. I just wanted to appreciate, get back to a place of appreciation, because I've been dogging on these, because I've had, I've had those solid state amps, and I just haven't been having a good time with them. Every time and it's not that I'm having a bad experience with the Abyss. It's just that when I've got the Mod House and the Sisvara clicking like crazy right now, like just being the awesome things they are, the Atrium doing that dynamic thing so well, and then I'm going to this, and I'm getting kind of like that mid-rangey honk out of them, and I'm like, ugh. I needed to get some love back into them, so I paired them with the Woo, with the tube, and then I jumped over to the at the end. I just jumped over to remind myself the Mod House if I was hearing things well, and these are still a little mid-peaky. There's no question. There's like a little bit at that 4K range. There's a little peak in there, but it's still, the presentation of that headphone there's nothing like it. It's the closest thing to having loudspeakers, you know, like in a headphone, without question. And they're pure spectacle to listen to. And on the right recording, right setup, they are just lifelike. I'm telling you, this is the headphone that made my friend cry. Like, he was listening to a track that was really meant a lot to him, had sentimental meaning to him, and checking that out, and it brought him to tears. And I'm sorry, you've done your job. You've done your job, Abyss. If you make somebody cry, I'm like, that was awesome. That was awesome. And then I let him listen to the Sesfara. This is on my older system when I didn't have something properly driving the Sesfara. And he said, why would you even have those? Get rid of those things. Why would you even have them when you've got that? And I said, yeah, you're right. But I was still in pursuit of the perfect amp combo, DAC amp combo for that. But yeah, the tungstens are still going strong. I think they're great. They're just a little more full. Like the weight of the mids is a little more full because it's not peaky, it's wider. So you get a little more full yet recessed kind of sound to them. Yeah, it's just a different experience. And they're close, you know, everything's closer. The sound stage on that is crazy on the Abyss, but yeah, you just got to deal with it. There's compromise. Every headphone's a compromise in something. So there you go. Where was that? Awesome system. Yeah, I know. Abyss pad just wore out. Oh, dude. Yeah. It's $300 for the head pad, and the ear cups are amazing expensive too. But what are you going to do? You know, I don't know. Do you want to hear something crazy about Abyss's $500 headphone stand? It arrived with a crack in the wood. They sent a replacement. Also cracked. He gave up. That's a good story, Last Rhino. I love that. I mean, you know, it is what it is. The band on the side snapped. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, that's that's what I had with my first one. I had the one, you know, the Abyss logo, and you can tell which version it is. The Abyss logo has changed. Now it's kind of like Abyss, like a movie title. Can you see that? It looks like a movie title, like all block letters. The original Abyss were stitched. They stitched the Abyss name, and it was kind of in a script. It looked like a motorcycle logo. So, yeah, that's good. See you later, 1266. Yeah. It's just so expensive. So you're going to pay $300 just to get back into them, you know? And there's nothing you can do about it when it breaks. There's nothing you can do. Just buy a new one. What is the name of Gene's headphone stand? It's called Rooms. R-O-O-M-S. I'll show you mine. So they all look like this. The base is all this. You can see it's Rooms down. You probably can't. It's a little dusty. Sorry. That's how long my Abysses have been sitting there. But R-O-O-M-S, and then the top is what changes. They have different things. Now this is a perfect fit because it's got these two little hookers. It's got hookers. So when you buy your Rooms, you get hookers, and the hookers go and hold the Abyss properly by the frame. And the problem is most headphones, obviously, they support the pad, and the pad wears out these rubber things on either side. So you want hookers with your headphones. Do with that what you may. Oh, it's too much fun. So yes, get the Rooms, but it's going to be very expensive to get a set of Rooms for all of your headphones. They're not cheap. They're not cheap. They're not as expensive as Abyss headphone stand that comes cracked. Getting some dust off this thing. Man, I feel bad. This poor Abyss is neglected for so long. That's all right. You know, you go through phases. And I went through a big, planar magnetic phase where I was every week was a new planar magnetic headphone. It's crazy. These are planar magnetic as well, but I just wasn't, listening to them. There's all kinds of tech in this thing, but this is an older headphone now. I think this TC's what, 2019, 2018, they did that upgrade on the driver? These are long in the tooth. They haven't revved this driver in a long, long time. They're busy with the Dianas. They're working on the Dianas. And I think that's because of who at the Abyss is driving the research and all that. I think this is Dad's. I can't remember their names offhand. I know there's Joe. I remember Joe anyway. But this headphone is the Dad's creation, and it's like they've developed the Diana as sort of like a more modern approach to this crazy ass looking Frankenstein of a headphone. All right, guys, we're running out of stuff to talk about there as far as that. I want to thank you guys for sending in your... thank Gene. Everybody thank Gene for sending in his viewer system. I appreciate that. I thought that was really cool. Got a lot out of that, even though I missed... the Shangri-La on that system. And now I'm going to go look up DNA audio. I want to find out who Dan North was that who it said? You guys said it was? Like they're like, oh wow, and I'm like, who is that? Who dat? I haven't seen the system before. There's just too many people making stuff, guys. So I'm going to go look up DNA audio. Very cool. Very cool. Donald, yes. Donald North. So I'm going to go check all of that out and offline, and I think you guys should too. And I gave you guys some listening assignments. If you guys missed the top of the show, go out and check out Willie Nelson's Red-Headed Stranger. That's an album that just shocked the hell out of me at how beautiful. It was just a beautiful record. And then you can check out the new Black Crowes album. And then if you can and you got some time, check out Eric Carmen, just for me. Check out the Raspberries and Eric Carmen. Just did some amazing, beautiful music. And sadly, he passed this week. So I wanted to give a little shout out to somebody I really enjoy. And we got a Baba Blues recommendation. So we're going to check that out too. Pretty fun. Donald North is niche audio. If interested, expect a huge wait time. Well, it seems like almost everything's a wait time these days. And, the Zale is still 6 months out. You can't just buy a Zale. And that's a major manufacturer, and Ryan knows about keeping these things great. Hungry Guys by Eric Carmen is great. I loved his version of All By Myself is to me the standard of that version of that song. I know a lot of people love the Nilsson version, but I'm like biased. I think Eric Carmen did the better performance of that. And then Go All the Way is like one of the best rock pop songs ever. I just thought it was great. But yeah, Red-Headed Stranger is really an interesting record. It's a very quiet record, and it tells a great story. There's a story. I love anything that tells a story, and this is a whole record. It's a concept album. Telling a story, and I don't think I'd heard it before. I may have heard it. There's a refrain in the intro that keeps repeating throughout the thing, and I've heard that refrain used in other people's music. It's been borrowed, or at least maybe somebody was covering the song. I don't know, but I recognize the refrain that kept coming up. That's why it's called a refrain. Duh. This guys, I'm so silly sometimes. But it was a very common, it's a hook that I've heard often in music, and I didn't know where it came from. And if that was his invention, then there you go. It's great though. Really good pair of headphones late at night. No percussion. Almost no percussion. Just like little sticks hitting each other kind of thing. No, but there's no drum kit, you know. Very interesting record. So check those out. And Black Crowes, new Black Crowes, KLOS, Google, YouTube KLOS Black Crowes, and it'll come up on their little 5-song set they did for KLOS, and the first 2 are the new songs off the new record. And you'll hear it just fits right in with their canon. It sounds good. Not my favorite, you know, not like mind-blowing, oh my God, Black Crowes, it's all new. It's just like it fits in with their stuff, and it's good to hear them playing something, you know, different that's similar to everything else they've done. Very cool. So I'm going to start winding this down. Don't have much else to say today, you know what I'm saying? I have a new episode coming. Hangover Hangout Saturday, guys, if you want. I know I'm going to have at least I've got a commitment from the Aurora's audio designer. He's going to talk about building a headphone. So that'll be takeaway. I don't know if Ryan's going to be able to make it. Ryan, if you're out there, you're always, always, always welcome and encouraged to stop by. Love your input on anything. And I'll send a shout out to Zach, but I also am trying to get, as I mentioned, I'm trying to get Audeze. I'm trying to get somebody from Audeze to stop by, because I think that would be valuable to all of us to know if Audeze is, what Audeze's big picture is. Are we going to see, you know, are we going to see an LCD6 or a Carbon 2 or a whatever other filament they want to call their headphones? That to me is interesting. So I would love to get somebody on to talk about that, but that'll be on Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Go to Patreon. There's a link in the description. I hope. If there's not, I'm sorry. It's around somewhere. You can find just Patreon, my show, Director's Garage. And yeah, I'm glad you guys stopped by today for an hour to check out our stuff. And I almost put on some Fratelli's music for the outro. Boy, that wouldn't get me like copyright stricken, would it? Oh my God. Yeah, so thanks for stopping by today. I'm going to have a new episode, end of this week, early next week, something like that. It's about half done. It's the review, and then we're going to move into some new uncharted territory, and maybe a Zale HM1 review. Anthony 37 chimed in. How are you liking the Zale? Love it. Great time. Great great amp. Underpowered by that much. That's what I got to say. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and yeah, I'll see you before you know it. Cheers. If I can figure out how to get off the air. Oh God. There we go.